Generational curse. You've probably heard that term before, right? It's this powerful idea that the struggles and even the sins of our ancestors can somehow be passed down to us. But what if there was a step-by-step guide to breaking free from all that? Well, today, we're going to break down a daily devotional that claims to offer exactly that, a roadmap to redemption. Let's dig in and see how they make their case.
Okay, so everything we're about to talk about really hinges on this one verse from the book of Galatians. This is presented as the ultimate loophole, the core idea that Christ has already taken on the curse for believers. This isn't just supposed to be a comforting thought, it's the theological engine that powers the devotional's entire argument for how this freedom is even possible.
So where are we getting this from? The source is a devotional from a group called Ambassadors Daily Banquets. And here's something interesting. It's actually dated for the future, December 13th, 2025. It's all part of a larger series themed Deliverance from All Evil, and this specific entry is about tackling that problem at its very roots. So before we can get to the solution, we've got to understand the problem from the devotional's point of view. What exactly is a generational curse according to this text?
The devotional is super direct with its definition. It calls them patterns of sin and bondage that get passed down through family lines. So we're not just talking about one single mistake here. The focus is on these deeply ingrained, inherited struggles that seem to repeat generation after generation.
The way the devotional presents it, it's a stark choice between two different realities. On one hand, you've got the curse of the law, which is basically a state of being trapped in these generational patterns. But on the other hand, you have freedom in Christ, which is positioned as the ultimate escape route, a complete liberation from that inherited bondage.
All right, so that's the problem. What about the solution? Well, the devotional lays out a very specific theological path to redemption. And yeah, you guessed it, it all comes back to that first Bible verse we looked at. Here's the core of the solution, as they explain it. The sacrifice of Jesus acts as a kind of spiritual transaction. By becoming a curse for us, he essentially absorbed the full weight of these generational patterns. This, in their view, neutralizes them and creates a clear pathway for believers to be set free.
And this is where the theology turns into action. The devotional provides a specific prayer, and it's not written as a polite request, but as a really powerful declaration. It's designed to be a tool, something for people to use to verbally break the curses and actively claim that new identity of freedom. But the devotional doesn't just stop with the explanation. It moves right into a direct call to action, laying out a structured guide for anyone who wants to actually apply this belief to their own life.
For anyone who might be new to this faith, they provide this prayer of salvation. What's really key here is just how structured it is. You see 5 distinct steps, and each one is backed up by a specific Bible verse. It's a clear, almost formulaic process that's designed to remove any ambiguity and guide a person from acknowledging a problem to making a firm commitment.
And the support doesn't just end with the prayer. The devotional immediately congratulates new believers and offers a practical next step, a free ebook called Understanding Born Again. This is a really crucial part of their strategy, right? It makes sure that a new believer isn't left wondering, okay, now what? So far, we've really been focused on the individual's journey. But this devotional is just one small piece of a much larger global operation with a very specific and frankly massive mission. Their main campaign is called Operation 500 Million Souls for Christ. The goal is right there in the name, bring 500 million people to their faith. That is a staggering, incredibly ambitious objective that really informs everything that they do. And to achieve a goal that big, they've created 3 really clear ways for people to get involved. You can be a prayer partner, praying daily for the cause. You could become a volunteer missionary, serving out in the field, or you can be what they call a kingdom investor, providing financial support. It's a model that really caters to different levels of commitment and ability. The level of global coordination is pretty fascinating, especially for their prayer partners. By setting up these specific prayer hours across all these different time zones, from Nigeria to the Philippines, they've essentially engineered a non-stop 24/7 chain of prayer happening somewhere in the world at all times. And to manage this global community, they use a thoroughly modern digital strategy. I mean, they're on every major platform you can think of. They're using WhatsApp for prayer groups, Telegram for podcasts, and of course they have a huge presence on Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to reach the widest possible audience. And we'll end on this thought. The devotional's final note urges its followers to prepare for what it calls the glorious return of Jesus Christ. This brings up a really powerful question to consider, Regardless of your own personal beliefs, how does a strongly held hope for the future end up shaping the urgent, large-scale actions and community building that we see happening right here in the present?